Oh, her warning.
Yeah, this is a girl who says that man
well,
has trouble.
This did happen to me, and it was a he. And I went right ahead and married the guy, and it was Gary.
Everyone thinks they know Lucille Ball, America's favorite redhead, the woman who made the world laugh, the comedic genius who helped shape television through I Love Lucy, and the power behind Desilu Studios. But behind the laughter lived a far darker reality that few ever saw. When the cameras shut off and the applause faded, Lucille sat in rooms where reputations didn't matter and kindness couldn't be faked. She watched how power behaved when no one was clapping, how fame revealed character instead of hiding it. Over decades in Hollywood, she quietly took notes, not on talent, but on cruelty. And before her death, Lucille privately named the actresses she believed were truly evil, not villains on screen, but in real life. These were not minor figures or forgotten names. They were Hollywood royalty, women adored, defended, and mythologized for generations. And every single one of them left Lucille with a story darker, colder, and more disturbing than the last. Joan Crawford, the Ice Queen who terrified Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball worked with many difficult actresses over her long career, but none unsettled her as deeply as Joan Crawford. To the public, Crawford was the embodiment of old Hollywood elegance, diamonds, discipline, immaculate posture, and a face sculpted for legend. But Lucille, who had seen power up close, sensed something colder beneath the polish. She once said quietly to a friend that all Crawford truly had was glamour, and underneath it was nothing but ice. That belief hardened in 1971, when Crawford guest starred on Here's Lucy. From the moment she arrived, the mood shifted. The studio temperature had to be held at exactly 68 degrees, her chair angled to a precise degree, the lighting reshaped to flatter her bone structure. Lucille didn't object. Control wasn't what disturbed her. What followed was. A 22-year-old wardrobe assistant brought Crawford a dress with a barely visible wrinkle, and instead of correcting the mistake, Crawford humiliated the girl, hissing that she was a useless little nothing and that even toilets would be lucky to have her. The assistant ran off in tears, and Crawford demanded she be fired immediately. Lucille refused, and from that moment on, she said she never saw Crawford the same way. When the cameras rolled, Crawford became radiant and charming, but the instant the red light shut off, she went cold again, like a switch being flipped. Lucille later whispered that she had worked with department store mannequins who felt more human, and to her, that wasn't just coldness. It was someone performing humanity instead of living it. Lucille believed cruelty toward the powerless revealed a person's true character, and in her eyes, Joan Crawford failed that test completely. Judy Garland, the beautiful chaos Lucille, couldn't forgive. Lucille Ball never spoke about Judy Garland with hatred. She spoke with exhaustion, the kind that comes from watching the same damage happen over and over again. Lucille deeply admired Judy's voice, her raw soul, and her tragic brilliance, but she also witnessed the wreckage Garland left behind whenever chaos followed her into a room. Lucille once said that Judy was pure magic, but the kind of magic that burned the stage down in the process. One story, later shared by a television director, stayed with Lucille forever. Garland was scheduled for a 5 a.m. shoot, and the entire crew waited as hours passed with no word. Judy finally arrived at 2 in the afternoon, radiant and apologetic, then delivered 30 flawless minutes that reminded everyone exactly why she was a legend. Moments later, she announced she was too tired to continue and left. The production spiraled over budget, and 3 crew members were fired the next morning. Lucille's anger wasn't rooted in jealousy or moral superiority. It came from workplace memory. She had survived Hollywood by being dependable in an industry designed to discard women, and watching innocent people pay the price for someone else's chaos felt unforgivable. She summed it up bluntly at a private dinner, saying that talent doesn't excuse destruction. And when Garland died in 1969, Lucille mourned the gift, but not the damage. Ava Gardner, beauty with a taste for cruelty. If there was one thing Lucille Ball despised more than emotional coldness, it was cruelty that was enjoyed, and that is why she never forgave Ava Gardner. Lucille witnessed it firsthand during a wardrobe fitting in the mid-1960s, when a nervous assistant carefully presented Ava with a freshly steamed dress. Its only flaw, barely noticeable, seam softened by oversteaming. Ava stared at the girl in silence before saying slowly and deliberately, "Don't bother fixing it. You can't fix incompetence with more incompetence." The assistant froze, publicly humiliated, while Ava showed no remorse. Lucille later told a confidant that Ava didn't simply make mistakes. She made victims. That sense of calculated cruelty surfaced again at an industry cocktail party when someone casually mentioned Lucille's name, and Ava smirked and said loudly, "Oh, the washed-up clown. She's still working." The room went silent, but Ava seemed to relish it. Lucille believed beauty blinded people to moral rot, and she once said that if Ava hadn't been beautiful, no one would have tolerated who she truly was beneath the surface. Bette Davis, talent that cut people for sport. Lucille Ball respected talent deeply, almost reverently, which is precisely why she was so disturbed by Bette Davis, whose brilliance she believed was paired with a deliberate enjoyment of cruelty. Their worst encounter unfolded at an industry dinner when a young waiter mistakenly brought the wrong wine to Davis's table, an error that could have been corrected in seconds but instead became a spectacle. Davis erupted, snarling at the boy, asking whether he even knew how to read a label or if that was beyond him, and as the waiter apologized again and again, she continued, slowly, deliberately, stretching the moment as if savoring the humiliation itself. The room fell silent, uncomfortable witnesses to what Lucille immediately recognized as intentional harm rather than a bad temper. Later that same night, Davis spotted Lucille and raised her glass in mock friendliness, but Lucille didn't respond. She had already seen enough. She later summed it up with chilling clarity, saying that Joan Crawford was cold. Zsa Zsa Gabor, the smiling fraud. Lucille Ball didn't fear Zsa Zsa Gabor. She laughed at her because what truly disgusted Lucille wasn't drama or vanity, but fake kindness worn like a costume. She witnessed it at a charity event in the late 1960s, when Zsa Zsa floated in front of flashing cameras, radiant with charm and aristocratic grace, only to snap the instant they disappeared, dismissing a volunteer with a cold, "I don't sit with peasants." Minutes later, another young volunteer accidentally brushed her coat, and Zsa Zsa leaned in with a sweet smile, whispering a threat that she'd make sure the girl never worked an event in that town again. Lucille later said there was nothing real about her, not the accent, not the elegance, not even the kindness, and to her, that made Zsa Zsa more dangerous than openly cruel people because fake kindness disarmed others and fooled the world. When Zsa Zsa later slapped a Beverly Hills police officer in 1989, Lucille wasn't shocked. She simply said, "There she is, the real one." Lucille Ball didn't expose these women publicly, and she never sought revenge or applause for what she witnessed. Instead, she simply remembered, quietly carrying those moments with her long after the cameras stopped rolling. In Lucille's world, the truest measure of a person was never talent, fame, or beauty, because all of that could be manufactured or protected. It was how someone treated people who had no power, no spotlight, and no voice that revealed who they really were. Now that you've heard the names Lucille Ball, Never Forgot, which one shocked you the most? And do you think Hollywood still hides people like this behind carefully crafted smiles today? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more untold stories from classic Hollywood, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss the next reveal. Because while the smiles were real, the darkness behind them was just as real.